Angel Vane, and this is episode 59 of my author's diary. So you guys know that I am currently working through my own editing kind of review of the first draft of The Fallen Hero before I send it over to the editor. And while I've been going back through the story, it reminded me that, hey, you know, I actually based this story off of another very, very, very well-known movie that I thought would mirror what I wanted Julian to go through. And so when you think about the title, The Fallen Hero, you know that like something bad is about to happen to Julian, like really, really bad. Like he's about to get in trouble. And he does get in trouble in the book. And so I knew that I wanted him to kind of go through something like The Fugitive went through. So I started plotting and writing the story with Julian being accused of a crime. Now, initially, I was all over the place because I was trying to write it from the vein of, are you sure that Julian didn't do the crime? Did he? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. And so really trying to like pull the wool over people's eyes to try to see, okay, is that the big reveal? He actually did the crime or he's actually wrongly accused of the crime. And honestly, I confused myself. And the story was going off on these weird tangents. And I was like, something's wrong. And so when I hit that point, I said, okay, Angel, don't just go by your memory for a movie that was probably put out in the 90s and it's like, 2020 right now. So I said, okay, let's go watch The Fugitive. Let's go actually see The Fugitive, right? And so I went on to Amazon Prime and ordered The Fugitive and I watched it one evening. And I will tell you guys, that story even today is still phenomenal. Like I got all caught up in that movie and I'm like, and even though like some of the technology and stuff is kind of antiquated, based off of 2020 terms, but it was still so riveting and so good. And so it really helped me to reshape my story, The Fallen Hero, for Julian, because I realized I'm not trying to trick nobody on whether he, did it or didn't do it. I know he is wrongly accused, and I need to just come out and let everybody know that he's wrongly accused. And so the journey really is about, will he be able to clear his name? And so really, The Fugitive helped to solidify that in my story. And then I started to say, you know what, there's a lot of other interesting things in The Fugitive that I think I might want to borrow. Not that I'm plagiarizing or anything like that, or completely stealing the whole story, but we all know that there are no new stories under the sun. Everybody borrows from everything. So even when you think about a story like Bridget Jones's Diary, that is based off of Pride and Prejudice. It's the whole Mr. Darcy Elizabeth concept just put into a completely different setting. And so I said, well, hey, I can do that too. I'm going to take The Fugitive and take elements of it and bring it into a whole new setting and a reinterpretation based off of my characters and kind of tweak it a little bit because it's kind of pure thriller and romantic suspense. So in the Fugitive, his wife gets killed at the very beginning of the movie, and you know that he didn't do it, and now you see him being arrested for doing it. And so I thought to myself, I'm writing romantic suspense. Am I really about to kill off Nina? I don't want her to die, so I didn't kill her off. So I'm already deviating, from The Fugitive. But there are other elements that I just loved in The Fugitive, and I really wanted to capture and bring to my story. So the iconic scene where Harrison Ford is facing off with Tommy Lee Jones, and Tommy Lee Jones catches him, and they're in that storm sewer thing, and it's water, falling over the cliff and all that stuff. And then, Harrison Ford turns to him, and he's like, but I'm innocent, I didn't do it. And Tommy Lee Jones is like, I don't care. And then Harrison Ford is like, fine. And then he jumps over. Well, that scene is so phenomenal, and I'm like, I have got to do a scene like that in my book. So I'm borrowing that. There will be a scene like that. And then the other thing that is absolutely necessary for a book that's about somebody who's been wrongly accused and they're trying to clear their name. Well, nobody can investigate and try to clear their name better than that person, and they can't do that if they're behind bars. So of course I have to have a prison break, right? So Julian's gonna get out of prison, go off trying to clear his name, have that iconic scene where I put him in like in this waterfall cave type deal, and he decides instead of being captured, I'm gonna jump and plunge over, and just to add that little extra suspense. And I mean, it's not too much of a spoiler alert, and by the time the book comes out, you probably would have forgotten that you even watched this YouTube video, and so you'll read it and you'll just be like, oh, I'm excited about it. Like, I'm excited about it because I think it turned out really, really good. And so this is just to show you how, like, authors, when we're writing books and things, we do use other stories as the foundation, as for inspiration for our stories. And it's not that you go scene by scene and say, I'm just going to copy everything that happened in this scene, but you do use elements of it to bring it in, and then you put your own retelling, you put your own brand on a story that already exists. And that's what I'm doing with The Fallen Hero, that is inspired by the movie The Fugitive. So I hope that makes you a little bit more excited about reading it when it comes out, and you actually can pre-order it. If you want to continue to keep up with me and all the ups and downs that I go through as I write and publish new books, click the subscribe button. Then don't forget to click that little silver bell so you won't miss when I do a video. And I will see you next time.